looking at the charts, it may be difficult for you guys to see what really is happening, whether we are going to go down or we are going to bounce up. Many hands are easily shaken off from their investments. Now, many doubt this rally will just continue or it's going down, because many of them still doubts this rally is just the hype and anticipation of the Spark airdrop screenshot. However, there are significantly valuable technical parameters that just changed. And I will take you guys through these step by step and explain why the next short-term wave is incoming and the next major wave up will follow with that. And also, I will give you materials to widen your knowledge levels on reading these charts and understanding the impulsive moves, corrective waves, and what you should look while reading charts. On the other side of investing, things are changing well. Now, for me, I will say it may not be like many of us expect. But anyway, remember, 1400% in 3 weeks. That's something which no investors can neglect. And why we are going to do something similar, and why do we think it will be even bigger than that in each wave up this time? Because the central bank digital currency for cross-border payments is not looking too far. It's not like it's going to come after 10 years. It is coming. And in this market cycle, it will bring more institutions towards this. That's why you should be hanging on tight to your asset while volatility kicks in. Because if you understand these parameters, you are going to be safe. Welcome to the Scientific Investor family, where we discuss crypto and science behind investing regularly. Now, if you look at this, investment tycoons, investment giants are looking at this and do understand they own Bitcoin and Ethereum and says XRP is part of technological revolution. So if Internet of Information was a revolution and many became giants, will these guys who already understand the market cycle and the investment strategies stand outside when there is a revolution happening? No, right? They would be jumping in without even thinking, because once they understand the technology is like this, that would be happening. And that also brings in manipulation. Say this one says Thailand's largest bank, which is, they are talking about Siam Bank, Siam Commercial. So snubs Ripple, selects Stellar. So with that title, you may be looking at it and saying, okay, what just happened? They just were using Ripple, and what just happened right now? They were using RippleNet for their transactions, and now they're moving on to Stellar. Is Ripple bad? Don't get confused. You should be reading the entire article and see, because the title may not be completely what it states in the bottom. So let's dig through all of this. The price here is moving, but where is it actually going? If you are looking at this and saying, okay, we went all the way up just because of this anticipation, you are kind of a little bit wrong, in my opinion, because we went up 228%, say 200% from this moving average. And why did we actually do that? Because we anticipated that move here in the Scientific Investors channel. We were talking about the same as coming. From that breakout, we are expecting 100%, and from the bottom of that, it went 200%. And look at that target, we really achieved that target. Now, what is the difference in that change? Because this was the rounded bottom, which usually is a reversal, trend reversal pattern, meaning the time we were in that and we were breaking above that, it means a new trend is starting. Now, this one, the black two lines showing you this channel is base channel. Now, I'll actually take you in here, this article. I'll put the link in the description so you can go through that. Now, when you look at these impulsive wave and corrections, if you look here, say this one, okay, I'll give a tip. This one is looking like XRP's current wave structure, and this one, which is the acceleration channel, looks like XLM. If you go back in and look at that, you will understand. We have done that comparison back here in this channel previously, so I won't jump into that. So now look at this. The base channel, you were moving inside that base channel, then you got an impulsive move outside that base channel, and then that resistance turned into support, and then the price is going way to the upside. So this short-term wave structure is forming on XRP. So when I take you back into this chart here, this is our base channel. We went up, we were moving inside, now we broke above that, and this previous resistance is right now acting as a support. So looking at that on a shorter time frame, say if you are looking at the same thing on that time frame, you kind of get to see that. Now I did a mistake there. Anyway, okay, if you're looking here, it is clear that the next wave up is going to be something similar to that of, you know, the first wave here. Say the first wave was like 100% to the upside here. You can see 92%. The second one was 200%. So usually the third wave used to be something similar to that of first wave, or a little bit more than that, but never equal to the second wave. Now that's on a short term, but I'm showing you guys this on a long term chart, so it's easy for you to understand. Again, coming back to this, the first wave is smaller, second wave is the biggest one, and then the third one is bigger than the second but not equal to the third, bigger than the first but not equal to the second impulsive wave to the upside. So in that case, if you are looking at XRP, you can clearly say that the price is going to move to the upside towards 9.9 towards $1 in this next wave. So that is short-term wave. Now if you zoom back out and look at the same, you can understand this is just the first wave you are looking at, right? This is just the first wave when the bull market is starting, right? So for example, you can put this as a long-term resistance line here, and we broke above that. So that was the first wave up there. Then we corrected back. If you look at that correction, it's clearly understood that that correction was not that smaller. We went around 60% down. And if you look at the same now, we broke above that trend line, and based on the current bottom, we are around 36. Okay, I actually thought it was around 40% drop. But yeah, I think that was a longer time frame, a shorter time frame wicks, which takes around 40%. But still, we are in a healthy correction now. Why should we be looking at this? Because the same pattern is kind of repeating. If you look at this, this was the support, this is the resistance, and if you plot it through that, yeah, I'll just take this one off so it's clear for you. Now, look at this. This area was acting as a long-term support line there, here also. Then we broke above. Now, we did that, okay? But if this short-term wave is there, the difference between both of them is that from here till that top, it was like 1200%. However, here till this top is below 600%. But the difference being, here we traveled this distance from the bottom of the cycle. Here the bottom of the cycle is at this particular point. So if you consider this as the bottom of cycle and the start of this wave, it's again 100% above that. So that difference has to be considered. Now, back to what we were talking. So if you consider this as the first wave, which is the preparatory wave, then the next wave is going to be huge, right? So usually it's like 2 to 3 times the first wave. Okay, now go back, look at this chart and say how much was the first wave from this bottom. So you are going to look at 2 to 3 times of the current wave. So say this one is around 500%. Say let's take 480. So if you are going to put 2 to 3, you would be putting around say 1200 and 1440. So from here you can actually take 1440% and look at that as the next wave up. Now I do want to remind you that this is the second wave up which we are looking at, and we do have previous resistance here, which is the all-time highs. The previous all-time highs should be acting as a resistance. Now, the next one, as I told you, the last wave usually used to be a little bit higher than this, but lower than this. So even if you anticipate that as say 400% or even similar to that or just above that, you can actually plot that and say it is going above $70. Now this wave structure is just based on this MACD, this Elliott wave pattern which we are analyzing here, not compared to the history. And if you are looking at that, what you have to understand is, say, the trend line for this top here, and if you extend that, this is way lower than that. So this shows the technical indicators and the probabilities. And now we understand that the probabilities says we are going to go up. But when the price goes up, the FOMO and the human psychology comes into play, and most of them would be just looking at the support. Okay, we are open till here, and when we say we are open till here, from that point, it's in percentage it would be low. Say it would still be like 200-300% from that top to here to 50%, which is not that huge considering the entire move to the upside. Because if you are an holder from this bottom here, till this level it's 60,000%, and till the top of the cycle it's like 280,000%, and that's $350, right? So if you plot this, you just delete all of this, erase them, and to understand this was a resistance, this was a resistance, you are continuing that pattern, and now you understand that the price just broke above here. So this is your bottom. That was my mistake. You will just take a segment here and then put it here. So this is your bottom, and if you understand this history, you just want to copy that one and plot it, similarly to get a fluctuation. That would definitely be wrong in terms of price fluctuation, because this is where we are starting and this is where going to be end, and it is around $200, right? But the bottom is here, and this cycle the bottom is here. So if you really do manage to understand that fluctuation and take that into account, say this is the bottom and this is the top, you are going to get around 140,000%. So if you would like to put that from the bottom here, 140,000%, you would be coming around, now that is 15,000%, right? Wait. Now my eyes are running out. So 140,000% is going to be huge. We are still going to reach around 150. Now, looking at the supply increase, which many may have a doubt, back in here we had less supply, and here the supply is increasing, right? You take that into account and reduce it based on supply, and still for me, based on my math, looking at the institutions coming in and all, I will only reduce it till around 110, 118. So usually my calculations comes around $112 to $118, which still many ask, are you still standing by that? Yes, obviously I'm still standing by that. If you are in my Patreon group, you already understand how we are looking at this market on a shorter time frame and what we are looking at on the longer range. But for XRP, I'm giving you that clarity here. Again, understand. A wave up and then a wave down. And this one looks like the first wave up. So if you take the same concept here to understand that three-wave pattern to the upside, say this is the first wave here, then the corrective wave here, next one. Now I'll just plot this an example here and just take you guys to show this is 1400x. So next wave should always be 2 to 3 times that, right? Based on Elliott wave pattern, it should be 2 to 3 times that. So do your math. You are going to be surprised watching at those price levels. And when guys come out and state that yes, XRP has the potential to reach that high, many won't even say yes, we are going to do that. Because if we say that XRP is going to reach 4 digits, 5 digits and all, many will disagree completely. Now, looking at the wave structures, yeah, it is still possible that it can happen from this bottom. If you are taking out that into account, say this is your 1400x initially, and then you are bringing that up to 2800x. So the price actually comes around, it should be around 28,000, right? 2800x, it should be, yeah, somewhere at 330. That's the 2 times, and if you put that into 3 times, that becomes like 420,000. So that itself reaches around $500, right? So that is just the 2x. Now you have actually 2 to 3x from the first wave. I know this is getting a little bit confusing for you guys, but do understand the potential of XRP reaching at 3 digits can never be ruled out. So that's why I personally look at it and say, okay, reaching 3 digits, yeah, maybe not in this cycle, maybe in the future, based on how the utility changes, how the use cases varies. But on a shorter time frame, you should understand why we use MACD, RSI and different indicators while looking at these patterns and analyzing them. Always understand this is a deceleration channel. It runs, take a parallel line, and if you look at these, you understand always we run through parallel lines. And if you have a doubt why we are doing that, do understand it is just going to break to the upside and then you can expect the next wave up. So what are we looking at here? We break above here 0.55 and then we start the next wave from there, and it should be similar that to the first wave or even higher than that. Okay, now one of the important stuff which you have to take into account, you have to now take this one clearly. This should be one of the important stuff from this information. When you are looking at this, you have to understand that it defines the trend. Okay, we are looking at, say, wave 1 and 2 connect with the line, then draw a parallel line along with the wave 1. Of these 3 channels, the base channel is the most important because it defines the trend. Okay, now go back and look what I said here. This one, the base channel, is what XRP is having right now. We just broke above the base channel. That means our trend is established. So where does we look forward? The trend just changed. From now, you're going to get first a small wave, which is the 5th wave of this preparatory wave subside, and then the actual bull market. So that 3 waves are going to surprise you to a lot more extent than what you are hearing now, because this is just you listening to me. But when the price moves, your portfolio is increasing in green and your emotions are going to kick in. The psychology will say, okay, let me take out some of my profit. If it goes at around 100% again, you're saying, okay, I'm going to take more profits. Always have your exit plan and stay put with it. Otherwise, you may not get the entire profit which you should be receiving at the end of this. Now, as we told, this can come up. Now, he may come out and say, okay, the last high was 3.5. I do expect the price to go around $12 to $30. It's completely okay. He may even say, okay, $5 is what I'm looking at. So don't think what he is saying is like that, because even if he knows the actual potential of XRP, because previously he was mentioning XRP, think if the price is $1 million, how much XRP do you need to transfer this value, right? So he has that in mind, but being in such a position, he may not be able to speculate that way. You have to understand that when these news comes out. Now, economy wise, if you're looking, yes, we are having trouble again. China is having another issue with Australia. So when you look at the Chinese mined coins, you do have to understand in the future there are going to be a lot of issues. Now this tweet from Joker highlights, it matters to me to stay humble no matter what. Unfortunately, in this space, I've seen many traders got fooled by their short-term success. So that's what I want to say. If you saw a success in your short term, don't just get too much of excitement. Don't just get too excited and jump in and overtrade. It may not be good for you. You always have to understand which position you are entering, why you are entering, what your targets are if you are trading this market. If you're an investor, it's cool. You have accumulated a lot. You are now sitting back and enjoying the ride. But if you're trading, do keep that in mind. Now, this was the negative perspective being put out by Bitcoin.com against Ripple. But when you come at the bottom, if you read this, you do have to understand, before this partnership, SCB teamed up with RippleNet's partner Azimo in April, opening a new payment corridor between Thailand and Europe. So what are they talking about right now? They are talking about South Korea and Thailand. They are not talking about Thailand and Europe replacing that. Right now, previously, Brad Garlinghouse also highlighted how many corridors you can provide that's going to be much better for your clients. So someone else is coming out giving another corridor there. It's okay, cool. If their volume in RippleNet in this particular corridor is low, they should be looking at the other corridor. Now, when you get the regulatory clarity, instead of just using the Ripple net, they would be moving through the XRP ledger as well. So keep these changes in mind, otherwise you're going to miss out the global expansion. As they expand, it's going to be huge. If you look at this movement of XRP, 246 million XRP has changed. Now that moved into SBI's crypto lending platform. So why are they doing the lending program? For whom? To use it for the XRP ledger's utility perspective. So the utility bull run is going to kick in, whether you believe it or not. This expansion is here. I believe you received value for your time, and if you did, please do support the channel, hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't done that already. If you would like to get similar technical analysis for different assets inside your portfolio for you to stay confident in this bull run, you can look at that Patreon link given in the description. I'll meet you guys on the next video. Bye for now.